Hi, here Prashant Kumar PV, Assistant Professor, MS Engineering College, Bangalore. This is a video discussing code generation part 2. And in this part of video, I will explain how we will generate target code with a few examples. Okay, let us see first topic, simple target machine model. In this simple target machine model, we will assume a theoretical machine and all the general features we will assign to the theoretical machine. Let us see what are the features of theoretical our simple target machine model. The instruction support of that target machine model. So it support all load and store instructions and all computation type instruction like arithmetic operation, logical type, relation type, etc. Then jump instruction it support, conditional jump also it support. That means all type of normal instruction support. Then its memory is a byte addressable memory. That means we can store 8 bit of data in a particular memory location. So all the locations are byte addressable. It has n number of general purpose registers. So the registers are named from R0, R1, etc., etc., Rn-1. All are general purpose registers. So we can use for this register for any operations. And data type. See, this simple target machine we are concentrating on only integer type. In this machine, the data type it support only integers. The instruction format is as usual. Instruction consists of operator followed by target followed by the list of operands. So operator, target, that means destination where we will store data or what is your destination operands, followed by a list of source operands. Then few format of instruction, few type of instruction you can see that. Load operations like load destination comma address. The meaning of this instruction is take the data from the memory location specified by the address mentioned here and store it into the destination probably a register, because you can't take data from a memory location to another memory location. It's not directly possible. We need to do it indirectly with the help of a register. If the second operand is a memory location, then the first destination is nothing but a register. So another type is load R1 to R2, and R1, R2 are registers, so load the content of R2 into R1. Then store operation, store x comma r, where x is a location, so store the data from the content of r into x. Then computation operation like opcode destination source 1 source 2, for example add destination r1 r2, so add r1 plus r2 and result stored into destination. Unconditional jump like branch to a label specified by the L. Conditional jump means we will mention the opcode itself, that is what is the condition. For example branch less than or equal to r and L. This is the register value where we store the data, and if the condition satisfy and jump to the location N. Branching, few type of instruction. We haven't considered all the type of instructions, only few type of load instruction, store instruction, and all arithmetic instruction, branching and condition branching. Next, what are the addressing modes? Here I will not list all the addressing, but instead of that, how we will write instruction in particular addressing mode, that discussing. Let us see that here, especially how we will use load and store instruction. Look at here. In instructions, a location can be a variable name x. X is a variable name, so that variable name point to a location referring to the memory location that is reserved for x. That is the L value of x. For example, x is a variable, then this variable is pointed to a memory location. So this variable we can use it to refer to a memory location. Look at here. A location can also be an indexed address of the form A of R, where A is a variable and R is a register. We want to access data which is present in rth position of the array A, for example, then we can write A of R, where R is a register, so R will point to the displacement from the base, and where A is the variable where it will store the starting address of that array. So for example, so you can see that load R1 comma A of R2. So the meaning is the content of A plus content of R2. First register, take the content and add it into A, then take the content, then that is stored into R1. So content of X denotes the content of the register or memory location represented by X. The memory location can be an integer indexed by a register. So that is also possible. Memory location, instead of a location, instead of a variable, we can use a constant, an integer. For example, load R1, 100 R2 has the effect of setting R1 is equal to contents of 100 plus content of R2. That means first take the content of R2, then add to 100, then take the content, then you will get a value that is stored into R1. Then also we can use indirect addressing mode, like star will put just before the operand. Look at its meaning is memory location found in the location represented by the content of the register R, and star 100 of R mean the memory location found in the location obtained by adding 100 to the content of R. So example, you can see load R1, star 100 of R2. The meaning is R1 is equal to content of 100 plus content of R2. First we take the content of R2, it's a register, so take the content, then that content is added with 100, so that is this one, content of R2 plus 100, then you will get a memory location, then take the content of that memory location, that is what this one, again you will get a memory location, then take the content of that memory location, that is what a value that is stored into R1. So that means content of content, that is why it is indirect, that is we called it indirect addressing. Then another immediate addressing also possible with the help of hash symbol. So load R1 hash 100 means we have to add 100 to R1. Load the integer 100 into register R1. That's the meaning. Then few example of instructions how we will write the machine instruction. Here the machine instruction is not in the binary, it is in the assembly language. Because we are not discussing about the binary instruction, we are discussing how we will write the assembly instruction. So a 3-address statement will give. So 3-address statement we have used for 3-address intermediate code generation. So 3-address statement and how we will convert it into assembly, that is what we are discussing. For example, x is equal to y minus z is a 3-address code, and its assembly code is, look at here, x is equal to y minus z. So what we will do is first store y into R1, register R1, load content of y into R1, so y point to memory location, so take the content and store into R1. Again next, the content of z is a memory location, so content of that memory location is loaded into R2, so we will get the values in R1 and R2, then perform the subtraction and the result is stored into again the register R1. So that is what sub R1 R2, so R1 is equal to R1 minus R2. Next is so after that, after performing subtraction, the value is in R1, then this R1 is loaded into, R1 is stored into the variable X. Variable X is pointed to memory location, that means we are storing the data present in R1 into the location mentioned by X. Next instruction is B is equal to A of I. Here it is actually A is a name of an array, so we want to index A of I, ith location in the array. So how we will access, we want to read the data which is present in A of I. So first I is loaded into R1, register R1, then we know that each memory location is of 8 bit data we can store, so that is why we will perform a multiplication mul R1 R1 8, that the meaning is R1 is equal to R1 into 8. So this 8 we multiplied because each memory location can store 8 bit of data. So we want to get exact index position, that's why we are multiplying with 8. Then load R2 A of R1, that means content of R1 we will take, then add A, where A is the base address, then you will take the content because it's point to a memory location, then take the content, then load it into R2. Store B, R2, the meaning is B is equal to R2. Then A of I is equal to C, that means we are storing a value which is present in C into A of I, an array A of J. So array indexing, load R1 C, first C into R1, then load J into R2, then multiply J with 8, that is mul R2 8, so R2 is equal to R2 into 8, then store A of R2 R1, that means content of R2 plus EA, then take the content, then load store into R1. Okay, next x is equal to star of p. It's a way of indirect addressing. So how we will generate the assembly code? First, load the content of p into R1, register R1. Then we will perform load R2, comma 0 of R1. That means 0 plus content of R1, and you will get a memory location. Then take the content of that. Then you load it into R2. And after that, R2 into x by using st store x comma R2. X is equal to R2. Then star p is equal to y. It's also an indirect addressing. First, load R1 comma p, meaning is p into R1. Then y, load R2 comma y, that is y into R2. Then store 0 R1, 0 of R1 comma R2. That means the 0 plus content of R1 is again a memory location. Then take the content, then R2 is stored into that memory location. Then look at here, if x comma x less than y, go to L. It is a conditional branching. So how we will do the assembly? Load x into R1, load y into R2. So R1 and R2 contain x and y. Then subtract R1 comma R2. That means we are subtracting R2 from R1. That means R1 is equal to R1 minus R2. Then if branch less than 0, that means R1 is less than R2, go to M. So that the content R1 is less than 0, that is the meaning of branch less than 0 of R1. R1 is the operand. If it's less than 0, then the meaning is R1 is less than R2. So go to M. That is the meaning of this instruction. So that is about few 3 other statement and what is its corresponding assembly code. Then the next topic is program and instruction cost. We need to generate a target code. And definitely there are n number of ways to generate target code. So what we want is we want to generate an optimal target code. So generating optimal target code, target program for a given source program is an undecidable program. It is an undecidable problem. So definitely it is very hard to generate an optimal target program. So what we will do is to evaluate the quality of the target program. So we need to associate the cost to the target program. So what is the cost in that? Cost is nothing but the cost of compiling and cost of running. That is what cost. What is the cost of compilation? How long it taking? What are the memory resources it is taking? How long it is using the processor, etc. Resources available in the system. Some common cost measures are the length of the compilation time. So length of the compilation time, size of the program, the running time taken by the program, and power consumption of the target program. So these are the few factors which will contribute the cost of that target program. For example, you can see that suppose you are using a load instruction. It is loading from register to register because there is no memory operand involved. So definitely it is of cost 1. But if a memory operand is involved, then the cost is 2. If it is indirect, spelling mistake is there. If it is indirect, then it is what? Of cost 3. So similarly, for a target program, we can compute what is the cost. Cost in the sense the memory cycle required to perform that operation. That is what cost. So here I am concluding the code generation. So far we have discussed the issues in code generation, a simple target program, and how to write how to generate assembly code from a 3-address code, and a few examples also discussed. And finally, what is the cost associated with the target program. Thank you for watching the video.